Yo, what it do, my people? Welcome back to another episode of Heek's Hot Takes. I'm your host, Heek. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you've listened in the past, if you're listening now, and if you will listen in the future, I appreciate your support 100%. We going to the moon. There ain't no stopping, so you better get on now. Grab your jetpack. You feel me? I'm recording this pretty late, so I might be a little loopy, a little delirious, but it is what it is because the beat goes on and the grind don't stop. So here we go. Here we go. This video will be pretty quick anyways. We're just going to be doing quick recaps, notes that I took of the games that happened on Sunday for the NFL, as well as a quick preview for our Thursday night game tomorrow, slash today if you're watching it on Thursday. And then we'll have another video for college Saturday, and then NFL Sunday. That video will probably be combined. If you're not already in the Discord, I don't know what to tell you. You need to hop in the Discord. There ain't no other. I don't know. You missing out on bread. I ask people to be patient with me through the summertime. The summertime is a long time for those of us who are not good baseball bettors, right? And ask y'all to be patient with me, and it's paying off already in the first couple weeks. I am some sort of college capper now for college football because in the last 2 weeks we've hit a sweep, we broke even on a day, and then last Saturday we went 4-2, I believe it was, on our play. So we're up on college. We're in the positive with a winning record by a lot, and we hit a plus 5,000 some odd leg banger in the NFL on Sunday. And then other people in the chat have been using the information that I provide to create their own slips and win their own bread. So that's the type of community we got going on in the Say Less Bets Discord. You can tell slips I post. You can take the information I give and post your own. You don't have to post it all. You can literally just be there in the Discord. And if I smack a lotto, I'm going to give money away. So just come join the community. Be in there. A good group of people trying to get the interaction and engagement up a little bit more on a daily basis. So, hey, we choose you to be the one. All right, man. So let's get into it real quick. These quick reactions I got from the games this week one that I think will help us when it comes to gambling in the next couple of weeks. Prop bets, money line bets, spread bets, whatever you think. All right, these are little nuggets that I thought of. Also, if you play fantasy, right, these little nuggets and notes that I've written down will help you during that as well. If you're trying to create your best lineups, and let's say you might have a question between this player or that player, and maybe I'll give you some information that'll help you choose which one you want to pick. Okay, so um, Chiefs versus Lions. Okay, couple key things I saw here in this game from each team. From the Chiefs, Chiefs gave up 118 rushing yards, 250 passing. 118 rushing yards, giving that much up, that's not good. Not good. Um, Mahomes was active on the ground, 45 yards rushing, and without Kelsey in the fold, the targets were all over the place. So if you're looking for this team for a consistent target getter outside of Kelsey, you're really throwing darts every week, is what I learned from week one. Obviously, it's just week one, but outside of Kelsey getting his looks, it's really who's who's gonna get the ball today, I guess. And then even though the 118 yards rushing were allowed, the Chiefs did only allow 14 points defensively to a top 10 offense. So I think that's pretty good defensively, minus the giving up of the yards. But the Chiefs have always kind of been a bend but don't break type of defense. If you're unfamiliar with that means, that just means like, hey, we give up a lot of yards, we don't give up a lot of points. On the Lions, okay, Lions. they didn't give up that much rushing, and that they played a really good defensive game. This was the worst defense of the league last year. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. They couldn't. I was gonna say something very bad. I'm not gonna say that. They couldn't stop a lot of things. Okay, and but they played pretty well. They played pretty well. David Montgomery. There was a lot of questions. All right, this is a big note I found here. But obviously this could change. It's week one. But week one, David Montgomery definitely dominated the backfield. 21 carries out of the backfield for 75 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good fantasy wise and gambling wise. So keep an eye on that. But I'm sure they're going to work Gibbs into the fold more. Amon St. Brown, 9 targets. Josh Reynolds, 7 targets. Sam Laporta, 5 targets. Okay, so St. Brown, obviously clear leader. Josh Reynolds getting more love than expected with Jameson Williams out, and Laporta looks like an instant impact rookie tight end. On the Bills versus Jets. First of all, hate to fucking see it, man. You hate to see it, dude. Like, sorry about it, Jets fans and Aaron Rodgers. You know, we was rooting for you. I was rooting for you, unless until you play the Chiefs. But that's a tough way to go out. But I don't think he'll go out like that. At first, I was like career-ending injury, but just the type of dude he is, I don't think he's gonna go out like that. So, um, notes here, Bills. Holy cow, these dudes might be bad against the run this year. They gave up 172 rushing yards on the ground, and a lot of them were on like 180 some yard run by Brees Hall. Brees Hall's back. Okay, that's official. Lock that in as well. James Cook is the clear lead back in the Bills' backfield. Don't worry about it. Dude was he got 6 targets and a majority of the carries. So I would definitely not be afraid starting James Cook in fantasy. And Stephon Diggs, even against good defense, right? We know the Jets have a great defense. Elite target share here for Diggs. 10 targets, 102 yards, and a tud. We love that. We love that. And then the Jets, man, the Jets are the Jets, dude. I hate to see it. They're gonna suck. They are gonna be doo doo on offense. Besides Brees Hall, Dalvin Cook didn't look that good. I feel bad for people who drafted Garrett Wilson high, including myself in the league. Like, man, we gotta rely on Zach Wilson, bro. I'm not. I don't know. They say they're not gonna bring in a vet, but I really hope they do for my bread's sake. Cause I know I just and then, do it for my bread, please. Do it for my bread. Man, Zach Wilson, but even he's out. Look, all right, man. Moving on. It's late. Oh my God, more trash. Why did I put trash and trash next to each other? It's like looking at fucking. Oh my gosh, bro. This is like sticking your hand to a candy jar and you pick out a yellow Starburst. Then you stick your hand in the same candy jar and you pick out a fucking banana Laffy Taffy. Then you stick your hand in the same candy jar and you pick out a fucking candy corn. This is Cowboys versus Giants, man. Look, we're not spending much time on this bullshit. Okay? Good job, Cowboys. Bad job, Giants. Cowboys defense might be the best, but Giants offense might be the worst. So where how not going to take too much from this except for Pollard is elite. The target share, the carries, it's all there for Pollard to have a great season. Ferguson surprised with 7 targets, the Cowboys tight end, but he dropped a lot, so he might just suck. So I don't know. Keep an eye on that though. That's interesting. And I will say one thing about the Giants, aside from their putrid performance, the gift that keeps on giving. All right, real ones know. Daniel Jones over rushing yards every single week. You play it until it starts getting up to 40s, until the books start playing 40 and a half, 41 and a half, start like that. Anything in the 30s, you're playing Daniel Jones rushing yards and you're living with the consequences. He runs a lot and it's the worst kept secret in the NFL. So if you didn't know that already, now you know. Daniel Jones over rushing yards every time until the books adjust. Okay, it happens every single year. They set it low and they keep setting it low, not remembering this dude runs a lot and he crushes it. 43 rushing yards on on Sunday night, and that's with multiple like negative rushing yards. Like I think he had like a negative 13. Like he should have like 60 yards rushing Sunday night, and I think the over under was set at like 34. So yeah, there you go. um, Eagles versus Patriots. Wow. Okay. Okay. Now we getting interesting. Okay. Listen, I had a really hot take that people drug me for a couple years ago when Trevor Lawrence and them came out of the draft. And I told him that besides Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones was going to be the best quarterback in the draft class. And god damn it, yesterday against that great Philadelphia defense that we all know is good, and Mac Jones with a coach who's competent and calls some play calls, Mac Jones went out there for 316 yards on the Philadelphia defense, 3 touchdowns on 54 passing attempts. Mac Jones' season might be in effect. Again, week one, we might be overreacting. However, we know that Eagles defense is good. Yes, they lost a couple DBs here and there, but still good. Pass rush is crazy. It's a good team, man, and that Patriots team stuck with them. Their defense is elite. Only gave up 154 passing yards. Um, yeah, that game that game told us a lot about a lot of things. Kenny Gainwell is the RB1 in Philly. All the Swift hype, all the Rashad Penny hype. Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch. Rashad Penny did not play. Now Kenny Gainwell might be hurt for tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch, so I don't have any faith at that dude at all for the rest of the season. I would cut him and drop him if you need to, if you have fantasy. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, elite target share, 10 targets each, 7 catches each. You could probably fire each of them up every week and have a chance at hitting whatever you want to hit. Um, on the Patriots side, we talked about the elite defense. We talked about Mac Jones going off. The Ramondre Stevenson Zeke Elliott split was pretty interesting, actually. Zeke had 7 carries to Stevenson's 12. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And Zeke also had 7 targets in the passing game to Stevenson's 6. And then everything else was spread around because, as I said, Mac Jones had 54 pass attempts in this game. So Kendrick Bourne looks like he's back. Kendrick Bourne's season looks like he's Mac Jones' favorite target. 11 targets, 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson, like I said, 6 targets. Um, D. Douglas. I'm going to have to look in. I don't know who that is, but D. Douglas had 7 targets. Good for D. Douglas. Juju, 7 targets. Zeke, 7 targets. And uh, the tight end Henry with 6 targets and a tud. So Mac Jones season might be upon us. I thought it was Ramondre's season, but it might be Mac Jones season. So keep your ears to the streets on that one. For show. Next up. Oof, all right. We're gonna try to speed through these next ones too. Dolphins Chargers. Wow, that was electric. That was electric. That was fireworks. Man, I good for Tyreek. I have no love lost for Tyreek here. I'm a Chiefs fan that's not bitter at that man. He gave us a help win championship. So good for him, man. I'm glad he's having success down there. If you were living under a rock and you have no idea what the hell happened in LA, 2 of them went into LA and just had their way. Him and Tyreek. They did whatever they wanted against the Chargers. Tua had 466 yards passing. Tyreek 215 yards receiving on 15 targets and 11 catches. The hype train for the 2,000-yard receiving season is officially real. And the hype train for Tua MVP season is officially back on track. That was the case last year, if you don't forget. Before he got hurt, he was going off, and the MVP chatter was getting loud. But It all depends on health, right? So if he can stay healthy, this Dolphins team is quite scary. And I don't know if you remember when we were doing our division breakdowns, but yeah, the Bills, yeah, the Jets, those were good picks to win the division, obviously because they are good teams, and you could get both of them at plus money still in the preseason. But I mentioned the Dolphins. I mentioned the Dolphins as a really scary team, and holy shit, they are proving me right because everyone on their team can run at the speed of light. So, boy, that's a fucking bar. Another bar? Just accidental bars. Proving me right because everybody run at the speed of light. Hey, man, Universal, hit me up. Anyways, um, even with Tyreek eating, Waddle still has 78 yards, still almost 100, another 100-yard receiver. Durham Smythe, tight end, random dude, 7 targets. But one thing I will say is they got gashed on the ground. Okay, so this might be a team that we target for running backs. They gave up 117 yards to Eckler and 91 yards to Joshua Kelly. Okay, from the Chargers. Those two guys ended up actually splitting the backfield um, fairly evenly, more evenly than we thought. They a lot of us really thought Eckler was going to dominate this backfield, but Joshua Kelly, there seems to be maybe a injury happening with Eckler, so keep an eye on that. Kelly's a really savvy pickup on the waiver wire, um, and maybe a sneaky play this week and someone to gamble on. They also gave up 466 passing yards to the Dolphins as we spoke with Tua going off. So this might be a secondary we target, just like the Dolphins might be a run game that we target. So moving on to the Bears versus the Packers. Uh, Again, another team that I'm going back to that preseason take. Man, I told you, I can't decide. Is this team good, bad, good, bad? Granted, they might have just played top 5 worst teams in the league. Okay, the Bears actually might be dog shit. All right, but I think the Packers are legitimately good. Jordan Love, 245 yards for 3 tuds, pretty good if you ask me. Aaron Jones season in effect. Are they finally going to give this dude the ball? I hate when football teams overthink shit and they're like, we're not going to give this guy the ball because we don't give him the ball a lot, or we don't give this guy the ball because blah 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 blah. I was afraid the Cowboys were going to do that with Tony Pollard, right? And obviously the offense didn't play as much as they needed to, but it looks like he's going to get fired up on all cylinders, right? The Packers have continuously done this with Aaron Jones in his career. Aaron Jones has arguably been, obviously Rodgers, okay? But outside of Rodgers, Aaron Jones has arguably been the best player offensively on that team since he's been there. So but they like don't give him the ball all the time, and then drafted a fucking turtle named AJ Dillon to take carries away from him, and I'm like, what are you? What are the Packers? Boy, they be confusing the hell out of me, but. It might be Aaron Jones' season. Finally, that man went off 120 total yards on Sunday. 41 rushing, 86 receiving. A lot of them did come on one play, but still, you love to see the involvement from Aaron Jones. Other than that, the targets were all over. No Christian Watson, who will probably be Jordan Love's number 1 target, but Romeo Doubs showed up. And I expect Jaden Reed to be involved a little bit more as we move forward in the season. The Bears, man, they might be one of the worst teams in the league. Justin Fields, 60 yards rushing on 9 attempts, and only like 2 of them were designed QB runs. So what the hell are you doing, coaches? You didn't learn last year? You didn't learn your lesson? Clearly you didn't. Dummies, run him. What do you do? That's his strength. Why would you take a strength away from your best player? It's not that hard, man. Um, Two-headed rotation mainly in the backfield at running back. Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson. Deontay Foreman will rotate in as well, though. So this backfield scares me because Khalil Herbert is the starter for now, but Roshan Johnson could come snake that bitch. He had 6 targets out of the backfield on Sunday. So I'd be nervous. Also, I kind of started getting into live betting, like drives and catches and stuff, and it's pretty profitable actually. And the positions that profit the most are like running backs. And since the Bears had 5 targets to Herbert and 7 targets to that's 12 targets to the running backs. That's 12 targets to the running backs. Yeah, you throw like a 5 on like Roshan. I think at one point Roshan Johnson to catch a pass on the next drive is like plus 1,200. You throw a 5 on that, it's like 60, $70. He catches a pass, and he got thrown to 7 times that game. So yeah, you had a pretty good chance of cashing out on that pick. Um, but yeah, keep an eye on those. Those are real fun. Rams versus Seahawks. This was a shocker. Holy shit. I apologize in the last episode. I told you I'll take the Seahawks money line, maybe even the 5.5. That was whoa, Gino. Hey, bud, you can't be on the mic saying, "Oh shit." I also think you said that because you thought the ball might have been intercepted, right? And I think the media just ran with it on the Aaron Donald. Like, I don't think no man in the NFL is scared of another man. So I'll give you a break on that one. But still, you need to be better, Gino. That was not good. Um, the targets are clearly going to DK and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Tyler Lockett also had his fair share as well, but he did get hurt. But I think he ended up coming back in the game. Ken Walker, go ahead and fire him up. 12 attempts for 64 yards. He'll get cooking here eventually. I think the O line was just the issue that um, I don't know. Either the O line was the issue or the Rams D line, just like Aaron Donald on a vendetta type thing. Like you forgot about me. Uh, Stafford played hella well, 334 yards, throwing to dudes out there named Puka and Tutu. That's what's up. And they tore it up, Puka and Tutu. I added Puka. I'm gonna name my kid Puka. Puka? Puka? It's a raw name. Puka. I don't know about Tutu, but hey, Puka. Hey, go pick Puka up. Puka's a dog. 15 targets from Stafford, 10 catches, 119 yards. Tutu Atwell, 8 targets, 6 catches, 119 yards. 200-yard receivers from Stafford. Hella targets out there. And I'm going to tell you something right now that people aren't going to say out loud. We know when Stafford finds somebody he throw he fucking locks in and throws the ball to them. That's what he does. Calvin Johnson, thank you. Cooper Cup, thank you. And it looks like Puka. So fire up Puka. Do not be scared, okay? Because Stafford, like I said, he when he likes a guy, he zeroes in. Raiders Broncos trash. Do I have to comment on this fucking game? Oh my god. Uh, Whatever. All right, I'll do it. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries, elite carry share there. No other running back is really toting the rock like that in the Raiders' backfield. So that's easy to call. And the receivers are easy to call too. Devontae Adams, 9 targets. Jacoby Myers, 10 targets. Jacoby, 10 targets, 9 catches. Devontae Adams, 9 targets, 6 catches. Jacoby Myers with 2 touchdowns as well. So it really looks like the offense is going through 3 players in Oakland: Devontae, Jacoby, and Josh Jacobs. So if you're going to gamble on any Raiders, it's going to be those 3, and that's as simple as that gets. Jimmy G was efficient as always. Broncos. Uh, Broncos are still but boy Broncos booty but booty. Hey, I don't even really have a lot to even. I don't know what to even say about them. Targets were everywhere. There was no consistent target person. I will say this, okay? Either there's three things happening here. Either the offense is limited, either Russ is just fucking butt cheeks, or the Raiders defense was that good. I don't know. But the running backs and tight ends combined for 17 targets on the Broncos on Sunday. 17. And a lot of those 17 were running backs, like 10 of them. So, uh, uh I'll be staying away from the Broncos this year, guys. That's just spoiler alert. Okay, man. Titans Saints, man. Whew, another one, dude. I feel good because I this is another team I told y'all to look out for. Was the Titans. Everybody banging on the Saints drum, right? And I told y'all look out for the Titans. Titans win in New Orleans, almost stole one, man. Almost stole one. Derrick Henry looks ready to go. Load him up. 15 carries for 63 yards. Probably could have been a little bit more. D Hop, load him up. Monster target share incoming. 13 targets for 7 catches. And Nick Westbrook-Akina, the other receiver, also 7 targets, which was wild, weird. So Tannehill at least opens up the receivers a little bit more than what they have on the bench. But really, if you're betting on the Titans, you're betting on Derrick Henry, you're betting on Nick Folk, the kicker, 5 field goals. So that's what you're kind of banking on there. And their defense also, you're banking on them giving up passing yards to wide receivers. Gave 282 passing yards to Derek Carr and the Saints. Derek Carr had a very, very, very good debut. Looked for his guys that he needed to. Olave 10 targets, Michael Thomas 8 targets, Rashid Shaheed 6 targets. He spread that bitch around and let it fly. For all the shit that I give Derek Carr, I gotta give him his props too. He led those men well and led them to a victory, and it was well earned as well. Like that was a hard fought game. Jamal Williams looks like the leader in the backfield, 18 carries with no Alvin Kamara. So Texans versus Ravens. Texans look also like dog shit. Uh, 44 pass attempts for a rookie in his first NFL game. That's not the way you win. That's 11 carries to your number one running back, and you have the rookie throw 44 times. You knew you were going to lose. What? Okay. I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it, man. And I hate to say it because I like the guy, but D'Amico Ryans could be in over his head. So just put a pin in that one as well. Um, he's gonna get every chance. He's not gonna get fired in the season, especially because of his clout with the organization. But it'll get loud there after a couple seasons if it's back to back trash. So and it's not looking good so far. Um, Hey, if you're gonna throw it 44 times, we need to know who you're throwing it to so we can gamble on it. So, with that being said, is Nico Collins and Robert Woods. Nico Collins 11 targets, Robert Woods 10 targets. I had a feeling Robert Woods might be sneaky in this offense, sneaky pickup there, and sure enough, he is. So, if you're in need of like a sleeper wide receiver on the waiver, I'd take a look at Robert Woods for sure. Tank Dell, rookie, also supposed to be getting some more exposure. Didn't have that much in his first game. Um, let me see here. Ravens could have been better. Ravens could have been way better. I expected a lot better. They didn't look great, especially against the Texans team that isn't great. Poor J.K. Dobbins, another major injury. He could be done. His career could be done too. That's ACL and an Achilles now. Like, oof, that's tough. So now you're gonna have Gus Edwards and Justice Hill splitting those carries in the backfield. Unless they sign Kareem Hunt or somebody like that, which they could. But I think they'll run with who they got, and then I would assume they're going to lean a little bit more on Lamar's legs too. I would expect more design QB runs now. Only 6 rushes for 38 yards. That was very disappointing on Sunday, especially if you were somebody who drafted him. So, but I don't think that's going to be a thing for much longer. Zay Flowers, elite target share, 10 targets, 9 catches, but that's also without Mark Andrews. So I expect that to go down a little bit with the return of Mark Andrews. Jags Colts, bear with me, people. We got like a few more left. Jags Colts. Etienne, elite running back share, 18 carries, 77 yards in the TUD. Calvin Ridley, elite target share, 11 targets, 8 catches, 101 yards. Fire both of them up. Um, T Law looks like he's ready to take that next step. Zay Jones looks like the number 2, which we all thought was Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk had 3 targets and 1 catch. Zay Jones 7 targets and 5 catches. So if you have Christian Kirk, I wouldn't drop him yet, but he's definitely riding the bench until we see something out of him. Ingram and Etienne both also had 5 targets as well, so they're gonna air that hoe out. And if you're taking 18 carries and 5 targets from Etienne, he's a good bet for anytime touchdown every week. Looking like he's gonna get a lot of work. Colts look like they have hope. Anthony Richardson, the rookie. Whoa. Some good, some bad. Some good, some bad. 10 rushes, 40 yards, touchdown in the red zone. We love that. Love that, especially if you're playing him. Um, Especially if you're playing him in fantasy. Michael Pittman, is it finally time for the breakout? Is it finally? We've been waiting. We've been waiting. And man, elite target share on Sunday, 11 targets, 8 catches, went crazy. And Josh Downs, rookie receiver, someone to keep an eye on, 7 targets as well. Cardinals versus Commanders. This game was poop too. There was a lot of poop games. Um, Cardinals offense is just straight at. They're so bad. They're so bad. Josh Dobbs, I'm betting on his unders every week because he's bad and could get benched at any moment just because. So, um, yeah, their offense is not good. James Conner is the entire offense. 14 carries for 62 yards, 5 targets, and 5 catches last Sunday. The entire offense, literally not even exaggerating on that. Zach Ertz had 10 targets and 6 catches for 21 yards. Hell yeah. Fucking suck. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Cardinals fans. I don't need to do this to you. Fire up the field goal kicker, 3 for 3 on the field goals. Hell yeah. The defense play well though, you know. So, yeah, I'm staying away from all Cardinals offensive unless it's unders. We might just bet Josh Dobbs unders and all the receivers unders forever. That just might just be what it is. And if we lose, we lose. Because I don't care. I'm going to win it the next week and the week after and the week after and then lose and then win 3 more weeks in a row because this offense is not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. So um, definitely keep those unders on your radar. Commanders, Brian Robinson, clear RB 119 carries for 59 yards. Even got a touchdown through the air. I wouldn't count on that every week, though. It's like on 2 targets. Logan Thomas, sneaky tight end play, 8 targets. And Jahan Dotson, 7 targets as the receiver there, opposite Scary Terry. Panthers, Falcons. Miles Sanders, 18 for 72 yards, 6 targets. Fire up Miles Sanders. Hell yeah. I think that's the move. Um, Next best targets on that team, Hayden Hurst with 7. Okay, maybe a Hayden Hurst season on the way, and Terrace Marshall with 6. Still not trusting the Panthers though, to be honest. Saw some good, saw some not that good. The team they played, Falcons, though, saw a lot of good because, as you remember, this was also another one of my spicy picks here, and I'm not feeling bad about it. I'm also not feeling bad about my consistent hammering of not selecting Drake London, Kyle Pitt, any Atlanta pass catcher as long as Arthur Smith is the head coach. I will never select. I will never select any pass catcher from any Arthur Smith offense ever. Okay, If you're unfamiliar, and this is like little information you get listening to my videos, that just like stuff I just hear and know just from listening to sports fucking talk all day. Okay, if you are familiar with Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans when Derrick Henry was going for like almost 2,000 yards a season. So he runs the ball. He runs the ball a lot. He runs the ball well. If you are unfamiliar with the Atlanta Falcons offense, they literally have three starting running backs. Okay, three of them. They drafted one this year, so they had two starting running backs and drafted a third one this year. So when you have three running backs on your team that are all starting caliber, I wonder what you're gonna do. It, you couldn't maybe ah they just think you're gonna run the ball, right? That's just what's gonna happen. So yeah, Drake London had what, one target? Yuck. They threw 18 passes, dude. They threw 18 passes, y'all. 18? No, thank you. No, no. And out of those 18 passes, nine were running back targets. Nine. Half of them. Half of the 18 passes were targets to running backs. No, 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 no. But fire up Bijan. He's a dog. Elite. Fire up Algier. They look like they're splitting carries right now with no Cordell Patterson. But even with Cordell Patterson, I would fire up all three because they're all three going to figure out a way to get involved. That's what's going to happen. Those are their playmakers. That's who they want to touch the ball. It's not Kyle Pitts. It's not Drake London. It's Cordell Patterson, a dude who they literally created a position for. Tyler Algier, who just scored two touchdowns on Sunday. And Bijan Robinson, who they've invested a top 10 real life draft capital pick in. So that's how that goes. Niners completely dominant. Not much to say here except for I was not expecting 22 carries for Christian McCaffrey. Didn't expect that at all. I don't know if that's sustainable, but if it is, oof, oof, big season incoming. Ayuk wide receiver one, clearly 8 targets, 8 catches, nice. Debo 7 targets, Kittle 6 targets, field goal kicker 3 field goals. Brock Purdy, dog. I mean, they were dominant on all three phases, and it showed in the score. The Steelers were a team that was very trendy this year, this preseason, to be very successful. And man, they got exposed on Sunday. They bled the run, as I said, 22 carries to McCaffrey for over 100 yards. Um, the game script kind of took away the run for the Steelers. Najee didn't look good anyways, but they really couldn't run. They had to abandon it. And with that being said, um, Allen Robinson 8 targets, George Pickens 7 targets, Calvin Austin 6 targets, and that's with Deontay Johnson going out with an injury earlier in the game. So with Deontay Johnson out, I definitely would look at like playing Pickens a lot more, especially his receptions. But Calvin Austin really might be the sneaky play. Really might be the sneaky play. 6 targets is pretty good. Jalen Warren, clear third down back, also 6 targets. So keep that in back of your mind as well. Bucks vs Vikings. Didn't see this one coming. Don't throw my hands in the air right there. Yep. I had a hot take in the beginning. If I'm going to pat myself on the back for the other ones, I got to strike myself for the ones that are shitty. And I said the Bucks might be the worst team, fight for the worst team in the league this year. And granted, it's week one, and we have a long way to go. But they went into Minnesota and did that. So good for them. Good for Baker. Rashad White, 17 carries. It wasn't for shit. He didn't run nowhere, but they were committed to giving him the ball, keeping the defense honest. I'm still betting on Baker unders. I'll probably like parlay Baker and Josh Dobbs unders all year just to see what happens. Um, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, mega target share. No one else really got close. Mike Evans had 10 targets. Chris Godwin had 6 targets, and the next closest was 3 targets. So you're firing up Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and you're not looking back. Vikings, let's see here. Kirk, 44 attempts. We knew that from that type of offense. Kevin O'Connell loves tossing the pill. So 44 attempts, 344 yards. Okay. 344 yards. That's key. And those 44 attempts, that's key for when we talk about here coming up shortly our Thursday night game. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver one, all day long. 12 targets, 9 catches, 150 yards. I think he had 100 yards at halftime. It was stupid. But didn't get that much involved in the second half. I know he was looked pretty upset about it on the sideline. T.J. Hawkinson, 9 targets, didn't really show up too much on the yardage or the touchdown box score, but 9 targets is still good. Addison and KJ, both with 6 targets, but Addison looked more explosive. Addison looked like the better player, and I think it's just a matter of time before Addison takes over Hammer, KJ Osborne's position as the number 2 receiver on the Vikings. And last but not least, we'll go to the Bengals and the Browns. Bengals. Haha. Millhouse voice. I mean, Millhouse? Not Millhouse. You know, the bully voice on The Simpsons. Ha ha. Got your ass. Goody. Uh, I, I don't fuck with the Bengals. But that's either near or there. The weather was trash. So we're not going to get a correct read on this team, on either teams, honestly. The weather was trash. I know both of them had to play in it, but the Bengals being a team that has clearly transitioned to Burrow getting the keys now, and weather in a game like that result was kind of to expected. Chase had 9 targets. Higgins had 8 targets, 0 catches. So that's a huge bounce back candidate right now. I mean, even with 8 targets, bro, like you're not gonna catch 0 catches again. You know what I'm saying? So Mixon dominated the backfield, 13 carries, 5 targets, doing his thing. And the Browns surprisingly scored a lot of points. Nick Chubb, 18 carries, 106 yards. Jerome Ford, 15 carries. That might be worth monitoring. I don't know if it was because of the weather. Did Chubb get nicked up a little bit? I don't know, but only 3 carries less than Chubb. I don't know if I like that. Kareem Hunt wasn't even getting that many carries when he was there, and he's a better running back than Jerome Ford, if you ask me. Deshaun Watson looking like he's going to be using his legs this season. If he does that, he's going to absolutely be a viable fantasy candidate. 45 yards on the ground. Elijah Moore and Amari, um, 7 targets each. I think better days are ahead, especially for Elijah Moore. They really want to get him involved. He's getting the ball in the slot. He's getting the ball in the backfield. I think he could have a couple like crazy games this year. So it's just the weather was shit. So 7 targets each, 3 catches each, I think. So and then Chubb with 4 targets. And they said he was going to get more targets this year with Kareem gone. So it's good to see them making good on that promise. All right. That's our wrap up. Hopefully that shit wasn't confusing. Sorry if it was boring. Like I said, it's late. It's literally fucking 12:30. Holy shit, I gotta work in 6 hours. Hell yeah. Alright, man. Fuck it. The grind don't stop. Um, quick analysis. Thursday night football. What I like, what we're looking at. Um, so based off of the stats we just saw, right? We got Vikings versus Eagles. Eagles played the Patriots. Vikings played the Bucks. I actually like the teams they played as kind of comparable. Like I like this. Okay, the Bucks defense isn't bad, right? And obviously the Philly defense isn't bad. I would say the Philly defense has a lot more pass rush. Um, I mean, they're just better in general, but the pass rush is going to be significantly better. So that could work against the Vikings for sure. However, Mac Jones throwing the ball that much in not the best weather conditions, um, and throwing for over 300, I like Cousins throwing for a lot of yards tomorrow. He threw for 344 against Tampa. Why can't he throw for 340 some against Philly? They're they're not going to be like winning by a lot, if you ask me. Anyway, it's the NFL. You never know what could happen, but they're not going to be winning by a lot. You'd think they'd be playing catch up. So if that's the case, they're really going to be throwing, right? So I like Kirk Cousins overs. I'll probably have some sort of lotto with him as 300 yards, if not more. But I like Kirk Cousins overs in yardage. Kendrick Bourne had a day, so I could see JJ going off. Somebody, the middle of the field was very exposed in the Eagles defense on Sunday. So whoever's operating that space, they could make a concerted effort to stop JJ. Which in that case, I would take Hawkinson to work the middle of that field and Kirk to kind of zero in on him. And then maybe Addison as well. But you always firing up JJ. But I would say Hawkinson's a nice little afterthought as well on his overs as well. Um, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, safe to fire up, especially with Kenny Gainwell probably out. They said with his injury. Um, I don't know, man. It's one of those games where you think Philly, you're getting Philly -5.5, -6.5. A lot of places and Thursday night games, they're kind of funky. The worst team usually kind of keeps it closer than you think. That combined with what I saw from the Eagles defense on Sunday, combined with the volume and amount of yardage they gave up to Mac Jones, and combined with how much I know the Vikings want to throw the ball in the Kevin O'Connell system, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings keep this game close, guys. I would not be surprised if the Vikings keep this game close. I think the one thing that could get in their way is the pass protection and Cousins having 6 sacks because he's not mobile. So that could be the one thing getting in the way. But if the Vikings can keep the pass rush at bay, man, Cousins could have a day, and this game could be a lot closer than people are thinking. So, spread and money line wise, I'm staying away from this game. I'm not picking it. I'm not choosing a winner or a loser. If I did have a lean, I would lean Vikings to cover. Um, However, I'm not willing to place that bet, honestly. So I'm sticking with the props. I'm going with Hurts anytime touchdown. I'm going with these are all straights I'm gonna run, right? A Hurts anytime touchdown, Hawkinson anytime touchdown, AJ Brown anytime touchdown, and then Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown, right? I'll probably parlay those all together as well, and then I'll probably run some sort of lotto like Kirk 300 yards, JJ 100 yards, you know, AJ Brown, some crazy lotto that because the Vikings defense isn't stopping no one passing the ball either. They gave up a lot of passing yards to Baker Mayfield, or a lot of passing yards to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, like individually. So, like a guy like AJ Brown, who's built like Mike Evans, could have a day. So, um, those are the props I like there. I also might take a fun little shot on the tight ends. We know Kirk loves Hawkinson, and Goddard had a big old goose egg last week, so I could see them purposely getting him involved, like on purpose. So I might even combine like a Goddard Hawkinson anytime touchdown Jones. So if you guys want all the plays, hop in the Discord, say less bets. I'm not going to waste your time no more. I'm kind of rambling. I'm kind of loopy. I need to get to bed. Motherfucker go work. Oh my God. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Past, present, future. Thank you. Lord have mercy. Let me get to work. He's hot taste, baby. Let's go. Turn up. Good night.